But okay. Check, check. So as you can see, I'm up to the next picture here, which it says Roman Emperor watching gladiators. The business of fighting is a new development and run by promoters who don't consider the long-term effects. Roman Emperor watching gladiators. Horsehair glove boxer leaving the ring on a stretcher. Football player on a stretcher and sidebar showing Dr. Bennett Omalu. He's the guy who Will Smith played in the movie Concussion. Luke Kumo getting grounded and pounded in the UFC, then living in the gym, and then creating the League of Champions. Hmm. And then that's it for the intro. That's the first chapter. So I got 1, 2. So I have one more, and then the football player, that's 2. Sidebar with Bennett Omalu, 3. Me getting grounded and pounded, 4. Living in the gym, 5. Creating the League of Champions, 6. 6 more pictures. But which one is the good for the Roman Emperor? We got 1, 2, 3. No, that's not going to be that one. Let's put them, do like this. Open in browser. Okay. Go back to the messages. Open in browser. Okay, we could do it from here. This one I wasn't feeling. Okay. So put Discord away for a second. Alright. So we'll go through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is going to get rid of the ones that don't have people in the arena. So this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This one, maybe. This one, is this the same? Oh boy. Wow. So between this one and this one. I think I'm going to get rid of both of these actually. Let's see. Okay. So we got 3 from the left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, I'm gonna make an executive decision here. Oof, that hurts. Because I want the sky. Alright, we got 1, 2, or 3. One or two. 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Anyone? 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Tough. Let's save them both. Save as. Let's see here. Is this number 13 already? Wait, where is the... Just call it 13. Emperor. Okay. 13 Emperor with two R's. All right. Now I can get into some news. I'm really way behind. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to go backwards. So most recent first.
I think I can do more politically. Nah, I think I can do more politically just being a positive force, positive energy, entertaining people, feeding people, supporting them with philanthropy. Sometimes the messages get muddled when you try to put the politics to it. And I think there's people that do a good job, people that need to do a better job. But the reality of it is, nah, I'll just stay in my lane. I'll do what I can do best.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense to me. I've thought about that. Maybe I'll take Guy Fieri's advice. Stay in your lane. Cameron drinks sex stimulant during CNN Diddy interview. Okay. U.S. rapper Cameron appeared in an interview on CNN Monday night to discuss the video of Sean Diddy Combs attacking his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura, but which ended with him drinking a sex stimulant, plugging his podcast, and asking why he was even booked for the TV slot. Oh boy. First things first, Cassie Ventura. Aw. Known mononymously as Cassie. Mononymous. She began her music career after meeting producer Ryan Leslie. Okay. Wow. Let's go to early life. Born in Connecticut, her mother's African, Mexican, and West Indian, and her father's Filipino. Wow. Modeling by 16. Took vocal lessons, modern ballet, and did performing arts. So she was a model that went into music. I think that's a that's a common route for people to get discovered. They look good and then they they can be somewhat talented and get, go into another genre maybe. Especially today's musical technology. You can have your voice auto-tuned. The context. On Friday, CNN released surveillance footage that shows Puffy physically assaulting Cassie in a hotel room. In the video, Puffy chases her, grabs her by the back of her neck and throws her to the ground, then kicks and drags her before leaving her. He then returns to shove her and throw an object at her. Oh man. After the hotel footage was released, in which he said he was effed up and that he hit rock bottom at the time of the assault, he said that his behavior on the video is inexcusable and he takes full responsibility for his actions. I could relate to this since I abandoned my family 15 years ago and I'm at rock bottom. Disgusted. I never was violent. I guess that's one plus. I didn't turn to drugs and alcohol for treatment or whatever. I just lived in a hole. No, kind of on top of the hole. Down in a hole, and I don't know if I can be saved. Look at me now, something, something like a grave. Alice in Chains Down in a Hole lyrics. See my heart decorated like a grave. You don't understand who they thought I was supposed to be. Look at me now, a man who won't let himself be. Down in a hole, feeling so small. Down in my hole, losing my soul. I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Cassie filed a lawsuit against Puffy in 2023 November, accusing him of rape and years of repeated physical and other abuse. The suit was settled quickly between the parties. Yo. He's facing several serious accusations related to sexual assault and sex trafficking. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday, he said in a post on X, formerly Twitter. They keep. Just go back to calling it Twitter. Nobody's going to call it X unless the new generation who grew up without Twitter. TikTok generation. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. That's Cameron. Cameron, whose real name is Cameron Giles, or Giles, appeared on Newsnight to talk about the hotel video. But the interview quickly went awry, and he took to Instagram afterward, writing, "Why the F did they invite me on CNN?" In the interview, the anchor asks him about his response to the video, and he said, "I don't." Put my mic back down. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, it was like, down the volume? Oh, shoot. Cameron said, "I don't support any of that. Trafficking minors, domestic violence, I'm totally against it." And he clarified that while he knows Combs, he's not necessarily a friend. I'm definitely not going to condone any type of trafficking or any type of sexual conduct with minors. Will simply I will simply explain, in my opinion, how theoretically this could be an issue which is systematic. Now, hear me out. Music is an industry. Okay, so what are the customers of the music industry? You have the people that listen to the music, yada yada yada. But where's the money? The money in the music industry, as far as I know, is in the live performances. They sell tickets. Is in the merchandise, but also in the streaming. Now it's because streaming is how music gets played and monetized. Any musician, that makes money is getting paid through that somehow. But Puffy, he's like the last generation. So he was selling CDs, and who's buying the CDs? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the people who, you know, are buying music, the people who are going to the shows, they're all in an age bracket. You could even call it a target market. The people that, they idolize musicians. I think when as you get older, you start to appreciate the music, and people of a younger age, they idolize the artist. And that's why as an industry, you could say it's corrupt because they promote a lifestyle which is not healthy. So all these kids that look up to their favorite rapper and they want to, go to a Puffy show, go to a concert. They they promote a lifestyle in their lyrics, which is drinking, drugs, you know, all the sexy things that are not supposed to be done by kids. And so that little bit of rebelliousness that kids have, it's like, oh yeah, we shouldn't really. Our parents wouldn't want us to be listening to this type of stuff, right? Anyway, I bet, I bet that Puff Daddy, that rock stars, hip hop stars, athletes, I bet that they are approached by many people, men and women, and I also bet that some of them are borderline age wise. They're borderline, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And I bet that, because it's not like, oh, yeah, a woman, a man, anybody becomes attractive at 18. When they're 17, they're not attractive. When they're 16, they look like a kid, and when they're 17, they automatically turn into an adult. What I'm saying is this, look, I'm not saying it that he should have had sexual conduct with minors. What I'm saying is that he probably was inundated with offers from people that were all in that age group from 15 to 21. And, me personally, I've been told I'm more of a relationship guy. I probably would um, eventually have more of like a sidekick type of girlfriend. But I'm a man like Puffy. That came out wrong. I'm not like him in that sense. I'm a man like Puffy is also a man, and I find attractive girls attractive, and I could just understand how somebody would be put in a situation where they would end up in a situation where there's just a lot of borderline trouble. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I tell you one thing that I wouldn't do is drink and do drugs. That I am totally against. Physically, it's just not worth it. Uh, you know, my one vice, in terms of drugs, is weed, but that doesn't make me violent that I know of. Maybe my words. Cameron told viewers that he was upset when he saw the video, and when he asked about the further allegations, he said, "I can't tell you how Puffy moves," or anything like that. Then he took a shot of Pink Horsepower on air. Pink Horsepower is a supplement drink owned by Cameron, which, according to its website, is designed to empower man's sexual intimacy by helping to improve stamina and libido. The rapper then said, "I'm gonna go get some cheeks after this horsepower drink." He then took the opportunity to promote his podcast, stating, "My show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. Make sure y'all check it out." Okay. Thanks for this article. He does a morning podcast, 8 a.m. EST. So it's going to come on in 20 minutes. Um, what about the industry in general? So many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff. It weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case? Cameron became agitated and asked, "Who the talent agent for this joint?" He then turns off the screen and asks, "Yo, who booked me for this joint?" He mumbles, "I'm not sitting around watching Diddy and all that." The interview then ended. Later, Cameron took to Instagram posting, "F they invite me on CNN for." He tagged his supplement company Pink Horsepower in the video. Okay. So is that a bit of an ego attack? What about the industry? So many of people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case? Okay. So Cameron didn't want to talk about the industry. Hmm. Maybe Cameron is drinking that horsepower and dating 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds. Cameron. Everything we know about King Charles is cancer treatment. That's the artist, huh? There's, that's got to be the artist right here. He's looking at him to get his approval. King Charles III was diagnosed with cancer in February and is back working while his treatment is ongoing. The monarch, 75, was already 9 years past the official UK state pension age when he went into the London clinic for a procedure on an enlarged prostate. Doctor, Doctors subsequently diagnosed him with cancer in February, but he's already doing public engagements again after doctors were encouraged by the progress of his treatment. I'm just trying to read his face, and I know there's like theories about the royal bloodline and stuff. Just trying to see, like, I don't know. What am I looking at? I do see a bit of purple in here. That's and then out here is you see how it's like the lip starts here, but then there's puffiness outside the lip. The lip is actually the purple part. So the purpleness of the lip is means that the blood is kind of like stale. It's old. It's like a bruise. When a bruise settles, and the puffiness outside is debris that's been deposited. So it's like a belly roll, but a belly roll is not on the outside of the body. It's all throughout. It spreads in all directions. So it's in between the cells of the organ. So that's like a marbled meat, but it's the intestine, so it's at a smaller scale, way smaller. And the fact that it's red is indicating that it's almost like I don't want to say sepsis, but cellulitis. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so it's like a condition which I have too. I mean, most people do. It's like you backed up and it's bothersome. Simple way to put it, but um, radiation and chemos not going to fix that. King Charles' initial procedure when he was admitted to the London clinic in January was what? Planned procedure on an enlarged prostate. It's common with thousands of men each year. The king sought treatment for an enlarged prostate. The condition is benign and he'll attend a hospital next week for a corrective procedure. The king's public engagements will be postponed for a short period of recuperation. Okay. A corrective procedure. I wonder which one they did. Following his admission, um, they after his diagnosis of cancer, they declined to reveal which kind. During the hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern was noted. Subsequent diagnostic tests having identified a form of cancer. His Majesty has today commenced a schedule of regular treatments, during which time he has been advised by doctors to postpone public-facing duties. Throughout this period, His Majesty will continue to undertake state business and official paperwork as usual. The King's grateful to his medical team for their swift intervention. Their Taylor Swift intervention. It was a swift intervention tailor-made for the king, a Taylor Swift intervention, which was made possible thanks to his recent hospital procedure. He remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. His Majesty has chosen to share his diagnosis to prevent speculation and in the hope it may assist public understanding for all those around the world who are affected by cancer. Yeah. Well, I never got a a scan or a diagnosis on my thing back there. I think I have a tumor on the back of my heart. I think you can see it when I flex my back muscles when I do like a face pull with no shirt on. You can see it bulging through the skin because it's gotten so big. Multiple times a day I go like this and it cracks my spine, like a knuckle, because the tumor is pulling. It's so tight. It's just like a demineralization, which is like a cramp. And so this thing is pulling me all the way, all the time, to the right, to the back and to the right. So all day long I go like this, crack, crack, and the spine pops back into place. But otherwise, that thing is, and all the muscles around is pulling everything towards it, pulling the spine out of alignment, yada yada yada. And it's my own fault, you know. I've known for years. I've known for years I need to fast and clean out everything that's not supposed to be there. I just have been addicted to food. That's the only way to put it. I've been actually an addict and um, focused on my drug instead of being with my kids. Yeah, all these people. I know it's not a large percentage of the population, but they abandon their kids because of drugs. I'm no better than that. Just like a heroin addict who, is living on the street and their kids are in foster care because they chose the drug. I never achieved my potential because I've always been held back by my behavior, my this this intestinal plaque that's lining my intestine and really just like a muck on my life, just like a weighted blanket that's slowly poisoning me all day, every day. And it is cancer, it is. It really is. That's why I look like I got cancer. If you saw, you know, how old I look and diseased I look, it's pretty. Let me just change this topic. This is going down a dark route. Ah, um. So yeah, I've been absent from my public duties. I haven't gone to the gym in a week, and I'm not going this week either. You saw me pig out last night on flax crackers and vegetables. Today, I'm not gonna eat. I have to babysit in about 10 minutes just to start heading out. Get there by 8:30 or 9. But I still gotta pack my bag because I'm going to see Cherry later. Um, and I'm not gonna eat until 2 or 3 p.m. and then I'm not gonna eat after that. So I know I always say this, but I really am working my way up to fasting. Hopefully today, after I finish my um, 2 p.m. meal, I'll be good. Um, to prepare myself for not eating, I'm not going to have any tea, honey, or coffee or anything like that from now until 2 p.m. So it's 8, that's 6 hours. It's a 6 hour strict fast. A 6 hour water fast or a dry fast. We'll see what happens. Could you imagine 6 hours? And I'm thinking, and I'm talking like that's an actual thing. How long can you go without eating, though? I'm not judging you, I'm just asking. Because I personally, I'm going to find it difficult. Honest to God. Because I'm used to having tea with honey, coffee with maple syrup. Sometimes I would eat weed, you know, weed with like honey and coconut. I would eat figs. I would just eat, you know. Ooh. I'm sorry. I actually went to bed a somewhat decent hour last night. I think I got maybe 6 hours of sleep. I did get in bed at 9:30. I just didn't fall asleep right away. Anyway, let's see. The the king, he didn't actually need any help. Everybody, he completed all his state duties, which included giving royal assent to new laws. However, on April 26th, the day before my birthday, Buckingham Palace announced the king would be returning to public duties. His Majesty the King will shortly return to public-facing duties after a period of treatment and recuperation following his recent cancer diagnosis. Hmm. His Majesty's treatment program will continue, but doctors are sufficiently pleased with the progress made so far that the King is now able to resume a number of public-facing duties. Since the announcement, the King's been out and about in Britain and meeting the public again, and that has given royal fans the opportunity to ask how he's been doing. He said, "I'm all right, thank you. I do apologize for taking you by surprise. When this opportunity appeared and I had been allowed out of my cage, I wanted to come have a look." Queen Camilla is also getting better. Oh. Well, I'm American, so I don't have any feeling one way or the other about the English royal family. I'm not a jealous hater. I do think that it's at least they suffer the same fates as the rest of us peons. At least you know that whether you're a king or a pauper, you still are going to take care of your health if you want to live long and have good performance. Backlash over push to change SNAP benefits shocks Republican. Well, I can't qualify for SNAP because I have money in my bank account from somebody who needed me to be their social security payee. My friend didn't have any family members who could help, do the paperwork and offer up an account, I guess. I don't know. So I offered to help her. I do not take any of that money. I did invest a bunch of it into crypto. I did take a chunk of somebody else's money and invested it into Bitcoin, which, whoa, went up $500 in one day? That's crazy. Are we at all-time highs yet? In the past 24 hours, the market's up 8.74%. Is this the bull run that everybody was talking about? I'm pretty much back even. When I invested the money, it dropped. Bitcoin dropped. I think I bought it at the all-time high. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not an investor. I'm a hobbyist, if you could say that, or maybe I'm just desperate. I'm a desperate loser. But I did buy in, and now with this bull run, I'm hoping to make enough money from now until September or something. Let's see here. Did the crypto bull run start? 22 hours ago. Has Bitcoin bull run started? Crypto bull run guide. Crypto bull run incoming. $100,000 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to 100,000, My let's see. So what is it now? It's at 70. So basically, if Bitcoin goes to 100,000, I'll have 10 grand. So that's not really that much. I'll make what, 3,000? Damn. 3,000 is not even enough for a van. Shit. There goes my plan, huh? Holy. Anyway, because I have money in my account, I can't get food stamps. However, Robbie, who stayed with me for a month or two, didn't need his SNAP, so he gave it to me. So I get, I think it's $250 a month for food. Thanks to Robbie. Shout out. Thanks, Robbie. You the man. The chair of the House Committee on Agriculture, which oversees the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, is shocked at the backlash he's faced after proposing changes to the program. As committee chair, Republican Representative Glenn Thompson of Pennsylvania will lead the lower chamber's efforts in drafting a new farm bill, a comprehensive spending package passed every 5 to 6 years that directs U.S. food and agriculture policy. Markup of the House draft of that bill is scheduled for Thursday. Wait till RFK gets in, if he does. I think he's going to do a lot of stuff like this. In Thompson's draft, the cost of SNAP would be reduced by $30 billion over 10 years by preventing the USDA from updating the cost of Thrifty Food Plan outside of adjustments for inflation, which determines how much money will be doled out through SNAP. Opponents of the changes say this amounts to a cut that will prevent hungry families from affording the essentials for a healthy diet, arguing the new USDA restrictions would prevent SNAP from accounting for shifting eating habits and developments in nutrition science. Hmm. They're being disingenuous, they're being misleading, and maybe some of them, there are some I think that started this, that are perhaps lying for political purposes, which is really shocking when it comes to the Agriculture Committee. Thompson views the changes as a cost reduction measure and rejects his proposal being framed as cuts. There will be no cuts to individual or family benefits, he said, emphasizing that his proposal considers changes in the future cost of living and believes it provides an important check on the USDA. If the budget results in SNAP receiving $30 billion less, she says, it amounts to a cut that seniors and families who participate in the program will feel. The average person that's getting some help from us as Americans is getting $6 a day. Trying to say that they eliminate a small increase that amounts to $1.50 a week. That's not a big deal. If you only have $6 for food, that's a big deal. Yeah, so what is it? 250 divided by 30? $8 a day. Okay. My employer just asked me to come in early. Oh. Alright, I guess this is the last story. The American diet and what constitutes healthy eating has changed from decade to decade as new scientific information has become available. That's true. I mean, look at Dr. Jubb's research into life food and the impact of food on the blood. That only came out in the 90s, and it's still not mainstream. We're 20 years later. The Thrifty Food Plan was updated in 2021 for the first time in decades to factor in real purchasing power. This came on the heels of a directive outlined in the 2018 Farm Bill that directed the USDA to reevaluate the plan, which was developed in the 1960s. This resulted in SNAP recipients receiving an extra $36 a month. I told her I'd be there in 10 minutes. According to the USDA, an average of 42 million Americans participate in SNAP each month, with the program supplying $230 per participant monthly. Okay, that's what it is, 230. That year, federal SNAP spending totaled 120 billion, and the program accounted for 65% of USDA nutrition assistance spending. Thompson believes the disagreements over SNAP will be addressed when the House and Senate eventually meet to discuss the bill, and said his friend needs to be focused on the Senate and spend less time talking about the House. They questioned how Republicans can propose curtailing SNAP during a time in which conservatives have been outspoken about their frustrations over the price of food. She stood firm in her opposition, saying they won't get the votes to fund the farm bill. Okay. Well, if they're not going to pass it, what's the point? This one looks interesting. RFK Jr. lists foreclosed New York property as voting address. He neither owns it nor lives there. Oh my God. He lied to us. Um, Neighbors never seen him there. Croton Lake Road. He receives mail there. His driver's license and automobile are registered there. All his licenses are there, and he pays rent to the owner. Barbara Moss. Interesting. A parasitic worm ate part of his brain. This is crazy. Alright. I gotta end it though. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I think, you know, because I'm trying to get sleep, I might have to do these in the morning for now. Let's see. Let me know what you think.